This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
A couple of weeks ago, I was involved in a presentation for the Lewis and Clark Society in Kansas City, and my friends Kristen and Holly Zane were part of that as well. And they are enrolled members of the Wyandotte Nation, and Holly talked quite a bit about the story of Quindaro there in Kansas City, Kansas. And it is a remarkable story, and Michelle is going to share some of that with you this morning. Good morning, Michelle, looking very sparkly today.
Good morning, Deb. Today, as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, let's take a look at the Kansas territorial community of Quindaro and learn about its legacy. With the settlement of Kansas Territory in 1854, the issue of slavery and its expansion westward migrated with the men, women, and children who came to Kansas seeking opportunity. For those who opposed slavery, and for those escaping from slavery, Kansas became a beacon of freedom. Charles Robinson, with the assistance of Appleyard Guthrie and his wife Nancy Quindaro Guthrie, the daughter of a Wyandotte leader, secured lands to establish an anti-slavery townsite along the Missouri River. The Quindaro townsite was purchased from the Wyandotte and named for Nancy. The population of Quindaro grew quickly, and the town boasted a newspaper, a 4-story hotel with 45 rooms, a brewery, churches, dry goods stores, a massive sawmill, and a lumber yard. Prior to the Civil War, the community was home to a free African American community as well. With the help of local farmers, the Wyandotte people, and abolitionists like Anna Nichols, Quindaro became a stop on the Underground Railroad. The Civil War saw a change in Quindaro's fortunes. With so many young men off to the war, the population declined. The town's charter was revoked in 1862, and the town became an outpost for the 9th Kansas Volunteers. Many of the original buildings were destroyed during the war. The town persevered and became an educational hub. Reverend Evan Blatchley and his wife Jane operated a school for free African Americans and escaped enslaved persons during the war. This educational endeavor prospered, and after the Civil War was rechristened Western University. The university was an anchor for the African American community that called Quindaro home. By the 1930s, Quindaro, like many communities, suffered during the Great Depression. During World War II, Quindaro's young men went off to war once again, and the town's population declined. The community was eventually absorbed by Kansas City, Kansas, and after time, many of the town's original structures were abandoned and reclaimed by nature. In the 1980s, a proposed landfill project was slated for Quindaro. Community activists, residents, historians, and preservationists joined together in an effort to stop the landfill. Archaeological excavations unearthed remnants of Quindaro's 19th century past to preserve it for future generations. In 2002, the Quindaro townsite was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, and in April 2019, the Quindaro Townsite National Commemorative Site was dedicated. Today, the history of Quindaro is preserved and shared by those who lived in the community and those who wish its story to never fade from memory. I hope you enjoyed today's look at Quindaro, and that you'll join me next time for another historical adventure somewhere around Kansas.
Well, I guess I'm stepping on Ron Wilson's toes a little bit this morning, but I love poetry too, and I've always been a fan of William Blake, who has been dead, these hundreds of years, but left us with some wonderful poetry. So I asked Hank and Joanna Will, who are in the midst of lambing season at their farm, if they would allow me to share some of the images that they have shared of the little lambs as I read William Blake's The Lamb. And I hope you enjoy this as much as I did making it.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.